half an hour.
Less than that.
We're both having to wear trousers and long sleeve tops, well I am, which is really weird. We're both exhausted. It's been 26 hours.
3 hours sleep.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have to do the check-in process, which from again what we've read can take up to 4 hours. Hopefully it won't. Do that and then have a little nap before we go and do any sort of exploring, because I'm so tired and dizzy. Bit of a tight entrance between the red and the breakwater. We're just sat in the marina at Smear and we're so hot and so tired, and we just wanted to sleep for a bit on the boat. But there was barely any air movement, and so Ben's decided to make a giant air scoop out of the mizzen staysail. If you can see. It might look slightly ridiculous, but at least we're cooler. And we've just met our new friend Ahmed.
Ahmed's cool.
He's a really nice guy. He's come to the boat to say hello, and he's going to show us around some sites tomorrow. We're going to go to Tetuan or something like that. Tetuan.
This is, I thought, was just oily, with oil and water, as our engine leaks quite a lot of oil anyway. But when you pour it, you can see it's red. It's actually antifreeze. It's the coolant out of our Sweetwater cooling system. So the engine didn't overheat, so it must, wherever it's come out of, it must have just burst out in the last half an hour before we came in, I think. But it's now what, about 8 to 9 o'clock. We're leaving at 6 or 7 in the morning. We've got to try and cross the Straits tomorrow back to Gibraltar in a forecast sort of 25 to 30 knot wind, westerly wind. So
with a potentially dodgy engine.
So I think I'm going to have to try and find this here.
That's really worrying.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very worrying.
Yeah, all the tools are out. How are you getting on down there, Ben?
I've found where it's coming from, but I can't. It's so I can't see with a hole or anything, or certainly can't get in there to fix it. It's either coming from a pipe, a metal section of pipe that's worn through because it's been rubbing against another casting, or it's coming out of the casting above. But I'm not sure if that bit should have freshwater coolant in it. I think there's only salt water in there, so it shouldn't be that way. If I can get the pipe out, I can at least bandage it for now, and that'll be alright for tomorrow, and then I can try and get a replacement pipe made up, or
fix it in Gibraltar.
Yeah, at least I'll be docked up there. I can strip bits off and go to people and say, oh, can you fabricate me one that looks like this, or...
I'm just glad you did your engine checks tonight, not like tomorrow morning when we were about to leave.
Well, there's one big hole there which has been just blocked by the pipe. I can push the pipe further over that bit.
That is a big hole.
Yeah, and then there's another one there. It's coming out somewhere here as well. So I've got that emergency wrap stuff. So if I clean all the paint off and sand it clean, it's just like a self-amalgamating tape. But it's whether there's enough space in there, because that rub mark there is where it's the casing above it is it's rubbing as it vibrates.
Right.
So I think that's what's put a hole in it there. That's just a corrosion hole.
But if you put that tape on, then it might not actually fit.
It might be too thick to fit back in. But we'll see. It needs replacing, obviously, but can't do it here. But I think I can fix it enough to get us across tomorrow. Yeah, the problem is now I've got to make up loads more gaskets because all the gaskets I've had to take about 4 joints apart to get to this point. So I've got materials to make them up. It's going to take me all night. And I don't know if I've got any. I haven't got any gasket sealant. That was what I had. I think it's gone off in the tube.
So much for an early night then, before our early morning trip tomorrow. So this is the rescue tape that we've just wrapped around the holes in the pipe, and basically it's not sticky, it sticks to itself, so it's like a silicone kind of rubbery tape.
They call it self-amalgamating tape, so under enough tension it just blends in with a layer below.
How are you getting on?
I'm just topping the fluid level back up now.
Yeah.
And then I've got to tidy up and clean everything. And then I'll just leave it overnight if there's any leaked out in the morning. You cold?
Freezing.
I'm sweating.
Well, it's cold and windy up here.
It's hot and stuffy down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, another half an hour.
Okay. So it is 6:30 in the morning. We were just about to leave, and Ben thought he'd just check the engine, seeing as he made the fix last night, and it's now leaking from a different place. So we're delayed by about, I don't know, an hour maybe whilst he fixes the new leak, and all the time the wind is just picking up. And it's blowing us basically right in to the basin now, so it's going in the complete opposite direction that we want it to. So rather than blowing the bows off the quay, where it would have done last night, it's going to be blowing us kind of in towards the end of the basin we're in, so not great.
Well, we're just leaving Marina Sphere after a little bit of a complication with the paperwork, and then the marina office wasn't open, and the police were saying we couldn't leave because they had a particular form we had to fill in. It turns out that the police actually did have the form, so we've done that. They came and searched the boat quite thoroughly. Anyway, we got a lot of wind today, and we're a bit apprehensive about crossing the straits back over. It's forecast to be 20 knots plus, maybe 30 knots. So we're going to go at it all reefed up, and we've got our fingers crossed that the engine holds onto its cooling water and we don't get into a bit of sticky bother in the middle of the shipping lane. But anyway, wish us luck.
It's a bit.
This is Moroccan warship. Do you have me over?
Moroccan warship, this is Bora Bora. I copy you over.
Morning, sir. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I need you to answer them, please.
Yes, certainly, sir. Understood. Very much.
Okay, sir. What is your flag? What is your flag?
We are UK flag, UK.
Okay, sir. What is your destination?
Our destination is Gibraltar.
Thank you, sir, for your cooperation. Please stand by on channel 16.
Standing by on 16.
One moment, sir. Can you give me your home number? The home number.
Sorry, can you repeat? Did you say phone number?
Affirmative, sir. Affirmative.
My phone number is 07966. I've never been asked my phone number by
That is a bit weird.
Moroccan military before.
No.
Perhaps he wants to go on a date.
Rough out there. Are you excited about crossing the strait to get a 30-knot winds?
Not really.
Nor am I!
More
First time I bought a life jacket in about, I don't know, 8 months. Seven knots, 2 reefs in the main.
One in the mizzen and a tiny scrap of jib out. And that's, we're just passing Sweater. Sweater there, and the Strait of Gibraltar behind.
So we made it to Gibraltar. Just.
Quite exhausting, really.
Yeah, we're knackered. Just getting some fuel. And our marina berth is just over there at Ocean Village. Next to the ridiculous hotel, boat hotel, which they sunk in. They sunk it in the harbour. Half. We've just realised that in going to Morocco and everything being closed because it was a holy day, we didn't get our wedding rings.
Was it a holy day, was it?
It was a holy day. That's where holidays come from. Holy day.
No. There's nothing in there. It's just plastic, you little. Get off. Oi. Stop. Down you get.
Okay, it is Tuesday the 4th of July and we are leaving Gibraltar and we are heading out of the bay now and we are en route to, well, yeah, Faro. So we're going to anchor behind Gibraltar tonight. It's about 140 miles. We're going to be on a sort of downwind run, aren't we?
Mostly
near enough, mostly liners anyway. And it's probably going to take us anywhere between 27 and 33 hours.
Something like that.
Yeah, depending on how fast we can go. So yeah, straight back into the swing of things after flying home at Hudson this morning and been awake since 4.
So we're leaving Gibraltar and we are transiting the Strait going west, which is maybe a little bit trickier than coming in because the majority of the water flowing through the Straits flows into the Mediterranean, so you only get a very narrow window to get out. We're lucky because we've got easterly winds, so we've got some wind assistance. We set off from Gibraltar and it's about 10 knots and it's already picking up as it comes into the funnel towards Tarifa. It's already picking up and we're probably at about 15 now, and I would think it's probably going to get over 20, maybe 25 when we get to the other end, and then that'll be really quite exciting because we're going to end up with a decent amount of tide with us. We should be there at around 7 o'clock at the moment we're on the inshore lane, or I'm trying to stay on the inshore lane because the tide's going our direction in that lane, and further out that direction it's flowing the opposite way. So if you look here, this is what we're coming up to 6 or 7 o'clock now, and we're going to end up with 3 knots of tide flowing out. This is the spring rate, so we won't quite get this, but 1.1 coming in, so we'll have a 1.9 advantage going westwards. If you were to switch to the lane, if we drift out into the centre too much, we'll end up with 1.4 knots against us. And that switches round over time, so in about 4 hours time when we're about here, we'll end up with 3 or 4 knots against us on the inside lane and only 1 knot on the outside lane, so then we need to switch to the outside lane. So this book is a really good one. We were very kindly given this copy, but it's the Straits Sailing Handbook, and it's been very helpful.
Racing along, this is really nice. So 15, 20 knots behind us. Heading down towards Tarifa.
This is really odd. I don't know if I've made a mistake or something, but we seem to have best part of 2 knots of tide against us, and I'm really glad we've actually got 20 knots, actually more like 25 knots of wind behind us, because we wouldn't get out otherwise. We're doing, our boat speed is like being up to 10 knots, and I don't think I've seen that go over about 5. So I'm really glad we got some wind with us, because I must have made a huge mistake with the tides. Or I'm not in the right position, but I feel like, judging by the diagram there, can't really tell whether I'm in the wrong place or not. I think I'm in the right place, but yeah, we're struggling to make very much headway, even with 25 knots of wind.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul.
Hello. It is just gone 11. Oh, just fell off my stool. It's a bit rolly still. The wind's dropped a bit. It's, well, saying that, it's still 22 knots, so we are still flying along at 8 knots, and at one point we had an average speed of 10.3 knots, so it's totally crazy. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I've let Ben sleep for an extra hour, and I can't wake him up. I'm dead to the world. Hello. Oh, you are awake. Oh. I just came in and you were so hard out. Oh. It's 9 o'clock. Yeah. I was falling asleep at the helm, so I thought I should wake you up.
This is the end of our trip back from Gibraltar. we're just coming up to the entrance to Gibraltar, or Ria Formosa, Gibraltar now. We've done it in a little over 24 hours, but it means we're early again, and we've done this before, where this entrance you end up with an awful lot of tide pouring out if you get there before low, and we are, I think, going to be 2.5 hours before low, so it's going to be pretty bumpy. We could always anchor outside, but it'd be nice to just get into the anchorage at Gibraltar and put the hook down and then go to sleep and relax.
And then we would have completed our journey out of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's our Mediterranean venture completely over once we're back.
Yeah.
And then the boat's being lifted out of the water on Friday. And then we've got a few days to tidy up before we fly back on the 12th.
Back to the UK temporarily.
Temporarily.
Looks a bit messy and confused in there, but I think we've only got about a knot or two against us at the moment, so we're sailing and we've got the engine on just in case we need it, which we probably will, to get all these weird big rollers coming in. Oh, it's a bit busier than last time we were here. Last time we were here was November, now it's July and it's very busy. Ja? So it is Wednesday morning and we are being lifted out today at the Boatyard, and we've got a bit of a problem because we are anchored off Gibraltar and a French boat came and anchored right over us 2 nights ago. So not on our actual anchor but over our chain. So now we are having to lift anchor whilst trying to sort of budge him out the way a bit. I'll show you. So he is right in front of us there, and our anchor ball is, well, directly in front of him. That was fun, wasn't it?
Well, God's sake, what else can you do? I don't know, you put an anchor buoy out, I mean, what else did he think it was?
God knows. So we are here in the boatyard at Faro, and I thought I should probably explain a little bit about why we are out of the water in a boatyard when most people are sailing. It is beginning of July now, so we have spent the last 4 months in the Mediterranean. It was a little bit of a sort of flying visit, but we were conscious of getting out again before it got too busy, and also there tends to not be really any winter sailing in the sort of middle of the season. So our plan was always to sort of go into the Med and come out again before sort of July. So that was all to plan. So now we're in Bruce's yard in Faro. which is a good cheap yard to do your own work on your boat. And the reason we're here is basically because we are getting married in August this year. So we are heading back to the UK, and we also need to earn some money, so both do a few weeks work. So it is much cheaper to, at this time of year anyway, to leave your boat in a yard out of the water than it is leaving it in a marina somewhere. And we need to get some work done on the boat before we head off across the Atlantic this winter. So yeah, that's kind of why we're here really. We are planning on flying out next week back to the UK, and we'll probably come back in sometime around sort of end of September time, maybe the first week of October.
What have you got there?
Going to a party. We're going to Bernie and Yvonne's caravan for drinks and nibbles. But I feel about 13. My backpack and my bike and my vodka.
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul.
The depths of the beast. It's our engine room. I've been instructed to hold this hose pipe in this hole and don't let it come out because we are running fresh water through our engine before we leave the boat. Ooh, here it comes. Doesn't take much to freak me out.
Yeah, it's fresh now.
That was quick then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. Check if it'll stay on. It's running water through our generator as well, because that is salt water cooled too, and we don't want it seizing up whilst we're away.
Get it in the bucket.
I'm flushing the engine through, outboard.
Good old gaffer tape.